Welcome to New Careers Academy, your trusted source for daily current affairs and defense exam preparation since 1967.
The world was stunned when the US bombed Venezuela. On 3rd January 2026, President Donald Trump announced that Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife had been captured in a secret CIA mission. Airstrikes hit cities across Venezuela, and the country declared a state of emergency. But here's the big question. Why did Trump do this? Was it really about drugs, oil, or something else? In this video, I will explain everything in plain simple terms. What led to this, what Trump wants, and what could happen next in Latin America. Because this isn't just about Venezuela. It's about China. It's about the oil. And it is about the US trying to stay in control of the America. Well, let's look at the real reason behind the biggest US military move in Latin America in years, and why it happened just now. Just one day prior to the strike, Maduro had offered to talk with the US. But instead of talks, Trump sent jets, ships, and troops. He later posted on social media calling it a win for America. But behind that post is a much bigger story. One about power, oil, and China's growing influence. Now let's get back and see what and how we got here. How did this all start? Well, Trump's focus on Venezuela started years ago. In his first term, he accused Maduro of drug trafficking and backed opposition leader Juan Guaido as Venezuela's real president. The US and its allies supported that move, hoping to force Maduro out. When Trump returned to office in 2025, he acted fast. He called Maduro one of the world's biggest drug dealers and launched what he called was a war on drugs in Latin America. US forces bombed boats off Venezuela, claiming they were smuggling drugs. The Navy also blocked oil tankers from going in or going out. At the same time, Trump gave the CIA permission to do secret operations inside Venezuela. All these signs pointed to one thing: regime change. This wasn't about diplomacy, it was military pressure, intelligence missions, and cutting off Venezuela's economy all at once. The major moment came on January 2nd, 2026. Maduro said he was ready to talk. But the next day, US launched a huge attack. Airstrikes hit Venezuelan military bases and communication systems. Trump announced that Maduro and his wife were captured and taken out of the country. Venezuela called it a violation of their rights and declared an emergency. Protests broke out. Russia and China spoke out against the attack. But Trump said it wasn't an invasion. He called it as a rescue mission to help the people of Venezuela. It was the first time in modern history that the US captured a sitting president in Latin America. Now, all of you must be thinking, why did Trump really bomb Venezuela? Well, there are three major reasons for it. I'll go a bit deeper into each of these reasons to make you understand what really was going on. First of all, we are talking about the US power in Latin America. And for that, I'll go to a doctrine known as the Monroe Doctrine, which was created in the year 1823. It told the world that Latin America was off limits to foreign powers. Back then, it was meant to stop European countries from colonizing the new land. But now, it is being used to push back China and Russia. Instead of the Monroe Doctrine, now it's called Monroe Doctrine. For years, the US has seen Latin America as zone of its influence. And Trump wants to bring that idea back, stronger than ever. His administration even wrote that in its new national security plan. It says the US must stay in charge of the Western Hemisphere. That means no Chinese military deals, no Russian oil contracts, and no leader like Maduro who stands against the US. To Trump, taking out Maduro is about showing that America is still the top power of its region. Second is to stop China's growing role. China is growing with its BRI initiative, and it has become a huge player in Latin America. It is not only just buying oil, it is building roads, ports, and power plants. In Venezuela, China has invested billions of dollars and it buys nearly 80% of its crude oil. One Chinese company even signed a billion-dollar deal to drill more oil in Lake Marseillabo. It is one of Venezuela's richest oil zones. Trump absolutely did not like that. In fact, he forced Panama to cancel a Chinese-led deal in the year 2025. He's also worried that if China builds influence in Venezuela, it could spread across all over South America. By removing Maduro, Trump is trying to scare other leaders and basically slow China down. The third most important factor is the oil. Let's talk numbers to you. Venezuela has over 300 billion barrels of oil. That's way more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, and yes, even more than US. In the 1970s, American companies like Exxon Mobil were producing oil there. But then Venezuela nationalized the oil industry. Later, Hugo Chavez and Maduro used those profits to run social programs and cut out on foreign firms. Trump calls that theft. He calls Venezuela stole American oil. He wants US companies back in it to drill, refine and sell. He also wants to cut China off from getting that oil. That's why he's been pushing for regime change, not just to help the people, but to open doors for business. Now the question comes, what will be the outcome? Well, this strike has already caused tension around the globe. Russia is absolutely furious. They called it the capture of Maduro a dangerous act that broke international law. China has stayed quiet for now, but experts believe that they'll fight back in other ways, maybe with trade deals, loans or military aid to other allies. In Latin America, some countries are scared. They worry they could be next if they don't follow US policy. And inside Venezuela, millions of people are wondering what happens next. Will there be elections? Will there be peace? Or is it just the start of a long, hard period of change? Well, let's talk about the bigger picture altogether. Well, this isn't a story about bombs and presidents. It's a story about global power, about who controls what and why. The US wants to keep its lead. China wants to grow. Venezuela with all its oil and locations. It's right in the middle of that fight. And Donald Trump, in his second term, wants to be the one who makes that decision. Only time will tell how it ends. But one thing is very clear. The world is watching. Thanks for watching. What's happening in Venezuela isn't just about one country. It's about power, influence, and what the world might look tomorrow. Whether we agree with Trump's action or not, one thing is for sure, they will shape the future of Latin America. And maybe even the balance between US, China and Russia. And while politicians fight for control, it's everyday Venezuelans who will live with the consequences. Well, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and let us know in the comments what topic you would want us to break down next in a way that's clear, honest and very easy to understand. This is Jai Hind, this is Hartaj signing off, wishing you all the best.